"1,500 years ago, Cholmcille's father, Bellamy, was chieftain of the northwest of Donegal. His mother, Ethna, came from a royal family in Leinster. Cholmcille was born in a hill fort in Gartan, 15 miles from our school, on the 7th of December 521.
The infant was brought to Temple Douglas Church nearby to be baptised. He was given the name Criffan, the old Irish name for a fox.
The young boy could well have grown up to become a chieftain, just like his father and grandfather before him, but a different path had been chosen for him, and that was to become a Christian monk. Cholmcille was first sent to his baptiser Critnahan in Kilmacrenn to begin his new life journey. When Critnahan was returning one night from saying his prayers in the church there, he noticed a very strange light coming from the young monk's cell. He peered in and saw a bright orb hovering above his student's head. He realised that it was the Holy Spirit keeping a watchful eye as he slept.
As a result, Criffan's name was changed to Colm, the Irish word for a dove, or columba in Latin, the dove being a symbol of the Holy Spirit.
Cholmcille eventually left Kilmacrennan to carry on with his studies. He first went to the school of St Finian in Movilla, County Down. There he changed water into wine, just as Jesus has done before him.
He eventually finished up his education with St Movie in Glasnevin, Dublin, but when the plague or Black Death struck, all of the young monks were sent home again.
When Cholmcille arrived back to his home area, he began to build monasteries, the first at Derry. It is said that he and his monks built 60 monasteries in the north half of Ireland.
In Donegal, there was one, for example, on Tory Island, others at Raphoe, Glencalmcille and Gartan, and further afield at Durrow, County Offaly, Kells in County Meath, Swords in Dublin and Drumcliff in County Sligo. Drumcliff Monastery graveyard is where the famous poet W.B. Yeats is buried.
Just 1 mile from Drumcliff Monastery, a terrible battle was fought, which became known as the Battle of the Book. The battle occurred because Cholmcille had gone back to one of his old teachers, St Finian, for a visit, and while there he copied a book of Psalms without Finian's permission. When he found out, Finian was furious and demanded his book back along with the copy.
But Cholmcille refused, and so the case was brought before the High King for judgment.
After he had listened to both sides, the king declared, "To every cow its cab, and to every book its copy." Cholmcille did not agree with the king, and so both gathered armies which met at Cull Drivna, close to Drumcliff, where Cholmcille's forces won a great victory.
However, Cholmcille was heartbroken because so many soldiers had been killed in the fighting.
He decided on leaving Ireland for Scotland and to try and save as many souls as had been lost in the Battle of the Book. Cholmcille left Derry with 12 followers in a boat.
They eventually reached Iona, a small island off the west coast of Scotland.
They built a new monastery there on the island.
They used it as a base to set out to convert the Pictish tribes on the Scottish mainland.
When Cholmcille and his monks were returning from one of these missions, they came across the funeral of a man who had been attacked by a Loch Ness monster. All the local people were very sad and frightened.
When the monster tried to eat one of Cholmcille's monks, Cholmcille made the sign of the cross and chased him away. This is the first mention of the Loch Ness monster in any book.
Cholmcille lived on Iona for 35 years, and he did a lot of praying, preaching and copying holy books.
The only time that he came back to Ireland was for the meeting of kings at Drumcat in County Derry. But because of the promise he had made to God, he wore a blindfold on his eyes and had sods of Iona soil in his sandals, so that he would neither see or feel Ireland again.
Eventually he knew that his time was becoming short, as he could tell the future. So he went around the island with his servant Diarmid one last time to bless the farm fields, the barns and the monastery.
On his way back, he stopped for a rest. His white horse, which was used to carry the milk churns from the field, came up to him and nuzzled into him. Tears flowed from his sad eyes.
Diarmuid tried to shoo the horse away, but Cholmcille explained that he was just trying to say goodbye. Diarmuid then knew that his master was slipping away.
Cholmcille spent his last evening copying a book of Psalms before leaving to go to the church. There he died in front of the altar after midnight on the 9th of June, 597. The 9th of June is still his feast day.
Cholmcille was buried on the island. Before he died, he prophesied that Iona would become a burial ground for chieftains. There are now 60 kings from Scotland, Ireland, Norway and England buried there. They include Macbeth, who Shakespeare wrote a play about.
Cholmcille was one of the most famous Irish people who has ever lived. He and his monks built many monasteries in Ireland and Scotland. He was the first Irish monk to go to another country to teach tribes about their Christianity. He is also one of the 3 patron saints of Ireland. His monks were the first to write down history. They also made some of the most beautiful holy books ever produced, like the Book of Kells. This is why we still remember him 1500 years after he was born.